Morning and welcome to Rouge Oriental. I'm Jessica, and on this channel I share my mind, body and business experiences so that you can take away what resonates and lead by example. So today I'm sharing with you 9 tips for a no tears school drop off. No tears, hopefully. No, that's not to say that I don't get any tears from the kids anymore. That it still happens, just a lot less, and it's a lot more of an enjoyable process, the whole school drop off. So my first tip being routine. Have not only obviously your morning routine, but have a school routine. For us, the school routine is we get to school, we open the door, they sign in, they press the buttons, open the door, they sign in. They may, now that Ivory and Winston are no longer at the same school, but they used to say kiss and cuddle each other before they went their separate ways. Then the next thing is to get into class, find your locker, put your bottle on the water trolley, go wash your hands, say hi to your teachers, and then he would walk me to the door, and then we would do our kiss and cuddles before I leave. So having a routine really helps with the child to go through all those steps, those actions, and gets them ready for the day. They know what's coming next. So the next thing, my second tip is communicate. Really communicate with your child what the routine is, what you expect from them in terms of, like for me, don't remember to say hi to your teachers, remember your manners, so what you expect, but then also what they can expect. So if you walk them through the steps or the numbers or the actions of what the routine is, then they're ready, they're preparing themselves for the drop-off. So really communicate with them. Even I communicate a lot about the crying. So I'll say to him, Winston, you're a big boy now, so no need to cry anymore, because you can talk and you can use your words, and that's how we talk and communicate, so that mummy can understand what you're feeling, what you want to say, things like that. So we would communicate any issues around the drop off as well. My third tip is probably one of my personal favorites, which is power to them, power to the kid. And what I mean by this is allowing the kids to be independent and do anything in relation to them, to be able to do it themselves. And so when we get to school, for example, I would allow them to punch in the numbers on the keypad or sign in and use the iPad, use the pen to actually sign in, or actually put their bags in the locker. I would get them to do it, or I would get them, they've taken off their jacket, I would say, Winston, Ivory, put your jacket into your bag, and get their lunch boxes out. Or when they go to wash their hands, I let them wash their hands their way. As long as it gets washed, it's just let it do it their way. And what I mean by that is sometimes Winston would want to use this sink with that soap and that towel. And for me, I liked efficiency. So, if the tap is here, the soap is here, the towels are here, this is sort of your station. But they have their own ways, and so be it. I just let him do whatever it is that is in relation to them. Let them do it by themselves, for themselves. So power to them, allow them to be independent. And because at the end of the day, we are trying to raise independent beings, and so giving them the power, giving them the control to do whatever it is in relation to them, for themselves, by themselves, really helps them. My next tip about once you're there, to get them to focus on the task at hand. When I say focus on the task at hand with Winston, he's registered what that actually means now, and I find that this really helps him settle. It helps him to it takes his focus away from everything that's happening, all the kids that are coming up to him, all the teachers, all the noise that's happening. It can get quite overwhelming because Winston's actually not, I've noticed he's not a fan of crowds, or maybe most kids are. But so if I get him to focus on a task at hand, which is part of the routine, he settles in a lot better. So here's an example of what I mean is, if we get to the locker, or on the way to the locker or anything, he might say, "Oh, mummy, I want to play with that." And I'd be like, "Oh, well, that looks great, Winston, but let's put your bag in your locker and then we can go play." And sometimes he'll be like, "Oh, no, 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 mummy, I want to play with this." And I will say to him, "Winston, is it time to put your bag in your locker and go wash your hands, or is it time to play?" And most of the time, surprisingly, he'll go, "Oh, it's locker and hands." And I'm like, "Great, let's put your bag in your locker, go wash your hands, and then you can go play." So getting them to focus on a task really helps them to settle. It makes them have to focus and remove all that noise that could be, and actions and everything that's happening that can get quite overwhelming. All right, so the next tip then is don't rush. No matter what you're doing, no matter how late you are, don't rush. It's just not fair on them if you're rushing. And remember, rushing is probably an energy, it's like an energy, feeling. And they could feel that you're rushing and they're going to do everything that they can and rush to hold you back. So don't rush. I mean, I get it. If you're late, you're late. Just come to accept it that you're late. And if you're late, that's probably the only reason why you're rushing. And because you're rushing, you're probably even later because you're not efficient, you're forgetting things, you're not focused. So again, just ground yourself and don't rush. Which brings me to the next tip about being in the moment and giving your child 110 zillion, trillion, gazillion % of your time. So what I mean by that is that when you're there, you really pay attention to them, focus on what they're doing, focus on the next step, and really listen. So often for us, if we're going one step, two steps, three step, four step, and then we're ready to go, and Winston doesn't feel like he's being heard, he's often like, "Mama, but, mama, but," and if I was like, "No, no, 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 that's enough, no more crying, no, mummy's not going to deal with this anymore," or whatever you may say, and it's a lot of da-da-da-da at them, he doesn't feel like he's being heard. So I've learned to just ground myself, be calm, don't rush, and just really listen. Wait for him to finish talking before I talk, and really just pay attention and be engaged. And I find that soon after they run out of things to say or they run out of excuses. So yes, really give 110% of your time and wait for them to finish talking before you talk. And your talk your line or input might be, "All right, Winston, well, I've heard you now. Mummy's listening and I understand that you don't want to be here, but Mummy's going to go to work and you're going to stay here at school. Maybe you can go see Ivory a bit later, but it is what it is." And they've catched on to how I am, and it is what it is. So yeah, don't rush and listen intently. Give them 110% of your time. So now that you're ready to leave and you might be ready, but they're not. But when it's time for you to leave, it's really important to get yourself for me, I'm always on the ground. So I'll get myself off the ground and I leave calmly, casually, and confidently. What I mean by confidently is do not hesitate and do not look back. I cannot stress this enough. If you are not confident, you hesitate, your child will know that they still have you on a string and they will use it to their advantage. They will have that second, third, fourth meltdown. They will. And I don't know if they will, but my kids definitely will take advantage of it. So I stress it again. When it's time for you to leave, we're going to leave calmly, casually. Casually, I mean routinely. So usually when he's not crying, I actually say to the teachers, "Thank you for having Winston. You have a good day, X, Y, Z, whatever." And if he is crying, I still do those things. I still keep it casual and calm so that it's not any different to how I would usually lead. So calmly, casually, and confidently. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. Okay, I know you miss them. I know sometimes when they're like, okay, bye, mommy, and I'm like, bye, Winston. And I leave and I sort of want to see, what he's doing. Was that a fake one or was that real, or are you actually okay? But I've noticed when I hesitate and I want that last glimpse, things can turn around really quickly. So I've learned, get up, casual, calm, confident, out you go, forget it, just keep going, okay? Keep going. Head to the front, look where you're going, and just keep going, okay? So that brings me on to the next point about now that the fact that you've left, you really need to have a good mindset. So if you're, often I leave in a bit of an emotional state, and I tell myself, mindset, my kids are capable and confident. They are capable beings and confident beings. And your kids are too. You'll be so surprised, maybe, but they are really capable. So don't worry about them. You'll notice that when you come and pick them up at the end of the day, they're perfectly fine. They've had the best time. They're running around. They've got big smiles on their faces. That's because they're fine. They're capable and they're confident. Your mindset's really important, because the more you think about your children being capable and confident, the more they're going to think that about themselves, and it just makes it for an easier transition and drop off, etc. Leading on to that then brings me to my last tip about leading by example. So leading by example is learning to control your emotions and energy. I'm just going to say that again. Leading by example for me means to be able to control my emotions, but most importantly, I learn to control my energy, because energy reciprocates. If I'm feeling overwhelmed, he'll or she will feel overwhelmed. If I'm rushing, they're going to rush to hold me back. If I'm pushy, they're going to be pushy. The energy, if I'm feeling really happy, some of that's going to rub off. So really try and lead by example, also by being calm, confident, casual, and just going about how you would want them to react or behave, or just being. So lead by example. So that's the end of my 9 tips for a smooth, hopefully no tears, school drop off. And this is applicable from when they're young to now, where Winston's going on 4. So I know that with Ivory, she's not exactly talking and things like that, but I still go through a motion of routine communication. I know that sometimes you don't get that feedback with the really young children, but it sets them for what to expect when they are a little bit older. So just to recap my 9 tips, that is routine, communicate, power to the kid, and bringing their attention to a focus, to a task, focusing on a task. Don't rush. Remember to give them 110% of your attention and listen. And mindset is really important, that they're capable and confident beings, and for you to lead by example by controlling both your emotions and your energy. So hopefully that helps. Please, please, please let me know what works for you in the comments below. If you want me to elaborate on any particular points, again, please let me know in the comments below. If this video has been valuable for you, I really hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, and I hope to make more videos. I do look forward to making more videos and sharing my mind, body, and business experiences with you, so that you can take away what resonates and lead by example. So click that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.